Hello PEI, welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really get into the stories behind the headlines, bring you up to speed on what's shaping life on the island.
That's right.
And first off, a really huge thank you to Mike Montague of RE/MAX Charlottetown. He's been amazing, not just supporting what we do here, but also gathering the vital research that, well, fuels today's deep dive into Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, the research is key.
So today we're going to explore a really fascinating mix. We've got record-breaking real estate, the push for some pretty crucial new infrastructure, big changes in public transit, and even like a surprising little safety nugget you probably haven't thought about.
Exactly. And often these things, they seem separate, right? Housing, transit, community stuff, safety. But they're usually much more connected than we first think.
Right.
So our mission today is really to sort of unravel that, help you not just hear the facts, but understand the dynamics, why things are happening.
Connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Exactly. So hopefully you'll have some real aha moments about PEI right now and why it matters for everyone here.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Because the housing market, if you've been keeping half an eye on it, you might know things are busy, but I think these numbers are going to genuinely surprise folks.
No, definitely.
It's quite a story.
It really is. The average home price in June hit $403,987.
Over 400,000.
Yep, nearly a 7% jump over June 2024. Great time to buy right now.
Lots of inventory, great prices, even people coming from other provinces to buy.
Exactly. So it sounds on the surface like a super hot market.
It does, but you also hinted it's maybe a bit more complex than just, booming sales.
It is, yeah. That's where the nuance comes in. You'd think with those numbers it'd be a crazy seller's market, bidding wars, all that. But Tim Jackson, he's the president of the PEI Real Estate Association, he actually suggests the market is becoming more balanced.
Balanced? How so?
He sees buyers having, quote, lots of opportunity to browse and make an informed decision. Not that frantic scramble we saw maybe a year or two ago.
Interesting.
And we're even seeing some houses, ones priced at what people are calling like COVID-19 pandemic levels. They're sitting unsold for longer. Average time on market is around 60 days now.
Okay, so record sales, higher prices, but also a more balanced market, maybe some listings lingering. Okay, so shifting gears a bit. From buying homes to something just as vital, actually getting around them.
Right. Mobility.
We've seen how fast the real estate market's moving. But what about the infrastructure needed to support all this activity? Getting to and from those homes is critical.
Absolutely.
And first, just a quick, possibly temporary bit of good news for drivers in Charlottetown. Sources confirm for this last week of August 2025 anyway, Charlottetown roads are construction-free.
No way. Construction-free in August.
I know, right? Enjoy it while it lasts. We all know that feeling.
Huh. Yeah, that's rare. Might be worth a drive just to experience smooth pavement.
Totally. But as you hinted, that little break doesn't mean the bigger infrastructure talks are on hold. There's still discussion, maybe some frustration around certain projects.
Like Spencer Drive. Well, the interesting bit now is the concern coming from developer Tim Banks, CEO of APM Group.
Okay.
He's pretty vocal, annoyed actually, that the city of Charlottetown isn't moving ahead with extending Spencer Drive this year.
Right, the extension to connect with Mount Edward Road and Ash Drive.
Exactly. It's been talked about for, 4 years now?
4 years, yeah. So why is Banks pushing for it so hard? What's the holdup?
Well, Banks argues this project is about $3 million, would do two really important things. First, unlock more land for housing.
Which connects right back to our first segment.
Precisely. And second, maybe more immediately felt by people every day, it would significantly ease those traffic jams near Royalty Crossing and Canadian Tire. And Banks says he even gave the city a 20-meter strip of land for it, but they had to do a traffic study first.
Yeah, and did they?
They did. And he says the study, quote, clearly and unequivocally shows that it'll help the traffic bottlenecks.
Yeah.
So for him, it seems like a no-brainer.
It sounds pretty beneficial on the surface, so what's the city saying? Why the delay?
Well, the city's response, according to the sources, is a bit more nuanced. They say, yeah, millions were set aside in draft budgets before, but there wasn't like a formal decision to pull Spencer Drive funding specifically for that turf field Banks speculated about.
Okay.
Instead, they say the funding was removed because of uncertainty around whether the project would proceed this year. They're still working on design, cost sharing with partners, and they're waiting to hear about a federal funding application, the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund.
So, not dead, but definitely in a holding pattern, a waiting game.
Pretty much. And it kind of shows, doesn't it?
Right.
Even with clear demand and what looks like a good solution, getting infrastructure projects moving involves coordinating funding, politics. It can be really complex.
Yeah, it sounds like a classic case of competing priorities, maybe some bureaucratic hurdles. But hey, while we're waiting on that road, there's actually some really positive immediate news about getting around, right?
Yes. Much brighter news on the transit front.
T3 Transit is making some moves.
Big moves. They've just announced a pretty significant expansion of services. Charlottetown, Stratford, Cornwall, it launched this month, actually, August 25th.
Okay, what kind of expansion are we talking?
It's a 7.5% increase in system capacity overall.
7.5%. That sounds like a lot for a bus system.
It is quite ambitious, especially considering their current fleet situation. Though the sources do mention plans for a renewed fleet are in the works.
Good to hear. So what changes will people actually see on the ground?
Well, some major improvements. Charlottetown's Route 10, that's the East Royalty Collector.
Yeah.
Departures are jumping from just 3 to 11 each weekday.
3 to 11, that's huge. That changes everything for commuters on that route.
Absolutely. Then there's extra shuttle service for Route 2 in West Royalty during peak times. Route 23 is getting streamlined. It won't do the Norwood Road Robin Avenue loop anymore.
Okay.
And maybe quite significantly, Route 3 has that permanent redirection now going up the internal UPEI road. That started mid-July, actually.
Servicing the vet college, the Mount.
The Mount.
CRI.
CRI, right. The pool and rec center.
Yep, CRI and the UPEI medical school directly.
So it sounds like they're not just adding buses randomly. They're really looking at where people need to go.
Exactly that. If you zoom out a bit, the sources say these changes come directly from increased demand, yes, but also specific feedback from the community.
Well, for Stratford and Cornwall, they're getting an extra 4 hours of transit service midweek. They're moving from buses every 2 hours to hourly frequency.
Hourly. That makes a huge difference for running errands, appointments.
Yeah, massive difference. And remember Route 10, East Royalty. For seniors living on Norwood Road there, the new route actually brings service much closer to their doors. That was direct feedback they addressed.
That's great to hear. Responsive.
Yeah. The aha here is seeing public transit not just as, transport, but as this vital social and economic connector. And these changes show T3 is really trying to respond to what the community needs.
That's fantastic news for so many islanders. Makes daily life easier, more accessible, a really positive infrastructure story.
It is indeed. So for you, the listener, this means more options, more flexibility for getting around these areas, a good sign for sustainable transport.
Definitely. Okay, now for our last segment, a quick shift to something maybe a bit unexpected. It's not PEI specific, but it's really crucial home safety info, especially with the warmer, drier weather something most of us probably ignore every day.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
It's about your garden.
My garden.
Specifically your mulch.
Mulch. As in wood chips.
Exactly. The question this raises is, have you ever seriously thought about your garden mulch as a fire hazard?
Honestly, no. Not really. For weeds and looks, yeah, fire. No. Well, what's surprising or maybe alarming is that organic mulch, wood bark, pine needles, shredded wood, it's actually highly combustible.
Highly combustible?
Yeah. We think of it as damp, good for the soil, but it can easily catch fire, a dropped cigarette, a spark from a barbecue, or even, and this is wild, under the right dry, hot conditions, spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous combustion from mulch. That's unsettling.
It is. And once it starts, these fires spread incredibly fast to whatever's next, wood siding, vinyl siding.
Yeah.
Your house, basically, in minutes.
Wow. Okay, so hot, dry weather really ramps up the risk then.
Precisely. Drought conditions, heat waves, that seemingly harmless mulch becomes a real threat. The sources mention regulations, often saying keep it 18 inches from buildings, apply it thinly, like 3 inches max.
So who actually measures that or even knows about it?
Exactly. Most of us don't. The key insight here is that this everyday garden stuff is a common but often overlooked fire starter, potentially devastating.
Right. So what can we do? What's the practical takeaway for listeners?
For you, it's actually pretty straightforward. Consider using inorganic stuff like gravel, stone, rock, right up against your house foundation and siding.
Okay, create a non-burnable zone.
Exactly. And if you use organic mulch further out in the garden, keep it thin, keep it away from the house itself, and importantly, keep all mulch clear of debris like dry leaves or pine needles that can easily ignite.
Makes sense.
It's a small thing, easy to do, doesn't cost much, but it makes a huge difference in preventing a house fire. It's that surprising risk, but with this simple fix.
That's genuinely useful advice, something I'll definitely be looking at differently in my own yard. Thanks for that.
No problem.
And just like that, that's a wrap on another deep dive. Wow, we covered a lot.
We did.
From PEI's booming but kind of complex real estate scene to the ins and outs of infrastructure like Spencer Drive and the great news about T3 transit making life easier.
Yeah, the transit expansion is big.
And even that vital tip about mulch fire safety. Hopefully you feel truly well informed.
Yeah, it's all about providing those little nuggets, those insights that help you understand the world around you a bit better.
Yes.
Locally here on PEI and, well, even in your own backyard.
Couldn't have said it better. And we absolutely want to once again send a huge thank you to Mike Montague, your Prince Edward Island realtor.
Yes, thanks, Mike.
For the fantastic research and for supporting this deep dive. It lets us bring these conversations to you.
It really does.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, if you found it valuable, please take just a moment to subscribe, share it with a friend, give us a like. It genuinely helps us keep these talks going.
Please do. It makes a difference.
And as you head into your week, here's maybe a little something to mull over. Thinking about things like Spencer Drive or the transit expansion. What small-scale infrastructure change in your own community? Like maybe a new crosswalk, a bike lane, even just a bench in the right spot. What small thing do you think would make the biggest positive difference to daily life for you and your neighbors? Something to think about.
Good question.
Until next time.